Ever feel like you want to stick to your habits, but you just can't seem to stay consistent? You get pumped up, make a plan, maybe even start strong. But a week later, you're back on the couch, phone in hand, wondering what went wrong. Most people think they need more motivation, more willpower, just try harder, right? But willpower burns out fast. One bad night of sleep or a stressful day and suddenly your entire plan is out the window. What actually works is a system, one that makes habits easier to do and harder to ignore even when life gets chaotic. Let me show you 5 simple habit hacks that actually work in real life. Here's the thing, what's out of sight is out of mind. If your habit isn't staring you in the face, chances are you'll forget to do it, especially when life gets busy. We all have too many tabs open in our brains. If you're relying on memory or just say, I'll do it later, it's not gonna happen, and you know it. Instead, make your habit impossible to ignore. When you can see what you need to do, you don't have to think about it. It saves mental energy and helps you stick to what you planned. Want to read more? Put the book on your pillow so you literally can't go to bed without seeing it. Want to exercise more? Place your exercise equipment where you always see them. Ever since I've installed gym rings in my tiny office, I do more pull-ups. Remind your future self by setting phone alarms labeled exercise for 15 minutes or read one page now. And while we make good habits easier, let's make the bad ones harder to fall into. Let's be honest, what's out of sight is easy to forget, but what's right in front of you, that's what you will reach for. If snacks are in sight, they're getting eaten. And once you say, I'll just check Instagram real quick, boom, you've lost 45 minutes. So make it harder to even start. Put your phone in another room. Move snacks off your desk. Remove the trigger, remove the temptation. You're not relying on willpower. You're just making it more annoying to do the thing you're trying to stop. And while removing distractions helps protect your time, the next step is using that time in a way that builds real momentum. You ever notice how checking something off a list feels weirdly satisfying? There's a reason for that, and it's more powerful than you think. Tracking builds momentum. Seeing that streak grow, it's a little dopamine hit every single time. Tracking increases your success rate, but if your tracking method is too complicated, you won't stick to it. The key is to keep it simple. Use a sticky note, a whiteboard, or best yet, use a notebook. The goal is to see your efforts stack up. Keep the chain going. But even with tracking, if you don't do the next step, life will find a way to hijack your day. Let's face it, winging it doesn't work for everyone. We tell ourselves, I'll find time, but we don't. And when we miss our ideal time, most people just keep the habit entirely. The way you keep your word to yourself is planning ahead. But not just a plan, but an if-then plan, which will skyrocket your success rate. If-then planning is a strategy where you create specific plans for how you will respond in certain situations to achieve your goals. The first step is to identify situations that might hinder your goal. For example, if your goal is to exercise, a common and valid reason might be that you are too tired to exercise after work. The second step is to write a specific action for that situation. For the tired after work situation, your plan might be, if I'm feeling too tired after work, then I will go for a walk for 30 minutes. Or if I didn't work on my side project this morning, I will work on it tonight. Basically, you are giving yourself an opportunity to redeem yourself. and not give yourself excuses to skip a habit. Flexibility keeps your habit alive. And while planning is crucial, the next action is what keeps you coming back. If the habit feels like a chore, something you have to suffer through, your brain will avoid it. Here's a weird trick that works. Link the habit with something you already enjoy or love. For example, only let yourself listen to your favorite podcast while cleaning, or save your fancy coffee for while you're working. Make the habit feel good now, not just in the long run. So those are the tools. But what really keeps habits alive? You will miss a day. That's normal. What matters most is what you do next. Most people mess up once and quit. I missed one workout. Might as well skip the week and start next week. That's called the what the hell effect. And it kills more habits than laziness ever could. The real habit that everyone should master isn't the push-up or the reading. It's showing up again and again. Even if you do the bare minimum, like one push-up or write one paragraph, you're still in the game. Missing one day doesn't break the chain. Missing 3, that's when the habit starts to fade. So how do you actually make that mindset stick? Well, with a system that keeps things simple and doable. What I do is write 3 to 5 habits in my journal that I want to stick to for the following months. I place my journal on my desk where I always see it. If you don't write your habits down, it disappears. And when I forget what I'm working on, I lose focus, waste time, and feel frustrated. Writing my habits on paper makes it real. It stares me in the face. I don't waste time deciding what matters. No more, what should I do today? I already know. But what do you do when life throws curveballs? Sometimes unexpected events or chores get in the way of our habit. We are used to think binary regarding habits. We either do the habits or we don't. There is no in between. Without that flexibility, we are more likely to skip the habit entirely and eventually lose momentum. In order to keep your momentum, define 3 versions of your habit. The first version is the show up version. The purpose of the show up version is to keep your habit alive. Because if your habit survives, then you can expand it later. One of my habits that I want to maintain and monitor is to exercise 4 times a week. Depending on the kind of day I'm having, I reach for one of my 3 versions. For instance, on low energy days, I just do 3 sets for one muscle group. When I do have the energy, but I don't have much time, I use the time restraint version. My time restraint version for exercise is to do as much exercises as possible in the allowed time. Whenever possible, I go for the full version, which is the habit I want to develop or maintain. In my case, it is to do 3 types of exercises for one muscle group. Having different versions of your habit gives you options and helps you stay consistent even on tough days. So you're not stuck choosing between all or nothing. But even with those options, there's one sneaky thing that can still trip you up: forgetting to actually do the habit. I set phone alarms with labels like "Record your video, bro." No one's doing it for you. The problem with standard notifications is that they're easy to swipe away. Funny or motivational one, they hit different. It reminds and inspires you to take action. Sticking to habits isn't about being super disciplined. It's about designing a system that works even when life doesn't. With this system, even on rough days, I can still show up, and that's what matters most. Consistency doesn't mean doing the same thing every single time. It means not quitting, So don't try to change everything overnight. Just pick one thing from this video, maybe the habit levels, maybe the funnel alarms, and test it for 3 days. That's how you build real momentum. But here's the thing, building the system is just part one. The real shift happened for me when I added a few small habits. Habits so simple, they almost felt pointless at first, until the small habits started changing everything. If you've ever wondered why some people seem to grow faster, get luckier, and feel more in control, watch this next video.